Good morning, everyone. I'm here to give my assignment presentation of Information and Communications Technology. My name is Latika, and prior to giving my presentation, I would like to give a vote of thanks to Dr. Mohammad Musa Ali sir for giving me an opportunity to give the presentation, so I can contribute to expanding our horizon of knowledge on the topic on the topic of the presentation of educational blogging. And thanks to all of you for giving your valuable time to listen to me. So prior to getting into what educational blogging is, I would really like to emphasize on what is technological literacy. As we can see in the diagram, technology literacy is consecutively related to five categories: healthcare systems, economic systems, educational systems, housing systems, and other systems like policing, etc. We would like here to focus on educational systems. So prior to that, what are technological literacy? So technological literacy is actually the knowledge about what technology is, how it works, what is the purpose for us that it can serve, and how it can be used efficiently and effectively to achieve specific goals in the 21st century skills. Following which, we need to keep in mind that they are not misused. uh, as we have seen in the recent times that the way of teaching has had a drastic change or a shift from the modes of education in earlier times to the way of classroom teaching that we have now. A premier example is how rapidly we have changed from an offline learning pattern to the online learning pattern in the times of the pandemic, relating to which some of the scholars have to say that our students have changed radically. Today students are no longer the people our educational systems were designed to teach. So today the greatest educational challenge we have is to prepare our students for the new types of literacies that will define the future, and they would be able to connect more and learn and gain more knowledge from. To have a better understanding of what educational blogging is and connect it, we need to have a prior understanding of what actually the term Web 2.0 means. So what Web 2.0 is also known as the participative or participatory web and social web. It refers to websites that emphasizes user generated content, ease of use, participatory culture, and oper- uh, operability, that is compatibility with other products, system, and devices for the end users. So the term was coined by Darcy D. Newsey in 1999. A Web 2.0 website allows the users to interact and collaborate with each other through social media dialogue as creators of user generated content in a virtual community. This contrasts to what the first generation of Web 1.0 era websites, where people were limiting to viewing content in a passive manner. Examples of Web 2.0 features include some social networking sites or social media sites like Facebook or blogs, Wikipedia, Foxomonies, tagging keywords or websites and links, video sharing sites like YouTube, image sharing sites like Flickr, hosted services, web application, or what we in general call apps, collaborative consumption platform, and mashup applications. As you can see in the picture, Web 2.0 is related to many terms. This is what a mind map of Web 2.0 is depicted here. So it can be related to remixability, convergence, audio, video, recommendation, blogs, participation, Foxomony, wikis, joy of use, usability, simplicity, designs, affiliation, economy. So these can be interrelated with what is we call as Web 2.0. Now, as we streamline our topic, we need to understand what a blog actually is. So, what is a blog? Blog is a short form of web log, which is an online journal. So, a blog sometimes is referred to as weblog and is a web publishing tool that allows authors to quickly and easily self-publish text, artwork, link to other blogs or website, and a whole array of other content, which includes articles, images, videos, links to other sites, and comments. Many types of blogs are personal, entertainment, business, educational, etc. So, in short, these web blogs include a whole array of things in inside it. So it can be updated several times, which allows author to publish instantly to the internet. So it gives you a sort of flexibility. So blog is a website that contains an online personal journal of reflections as well, where we can comment, and often hyperlinks are provided by the writer. It is the most representative tool of Web 2.0. They can offer flexibility, as we have seen that we can comment on it and change it several times in a day. It gives an adaptability feature and integration with other tools as well, because we can link other blogs and website in one particular blog, so it gives us connectivity as well to go to other sites and comment and con- and we can link, relate, contrast it to other platforms. So we need to understand there are differences between what is a website and what is a blog. Websites are usually static, they stay same for the most of the time, and blogs जो है वो current, they can be updated several times in a day, in a week, and they gives a flexible approach. Websites are a bit technical in knowledge and in coding. Blogs we don't need actually the knowledge of coding. In websites, pages are broken up by static pages and categories, but while in a blogs are written more like a journal. They are not broken up by the dates. Usually the most recent entry is on the top, like we use in Google Classroom. In a website, it is updated, and no automatic notification feature is there, but in a blog you can get an automatic feature of notification, so that where users can subscribe to it and they get notified when there are changes in that particular blog. So we can understand that websites on an on a general level are very static, and blogs can be updated. It gives a level of flexibility, adaptability, and integration feature to it. Having said this, we can actually understand that blogs can be used in a classroom for our benefit as teachers and teacher educators. So, every classroom needs a moderate online space. In today's generation, we cannot, move away from technology. We have to integrate it into our classrooms. So, blogging can be a very good way. Blogs can be used as a good resource to be used in classroom to enhance the teaching learning process. Koshka and Petrovsky in 2017 says that every classroom needs a moderated online space where students can share their ideas with others and receive the feedback. While blogging has been around for all over the world for more than about 10 years now, classroom blogs are still rare in many schools and communities. Uh, Blogging is a fantastic way to strengthen the connection between home, school, and the world. Like every other technology, blogging platforms have continued to evolve and change. But the reasons why students should regularly blog have remained consistent. Blogging as an assignment can be adapted to every grade and subject area, which helps and encourage students to blog about topics from other classes and help see connection among subjects and realize that writing is a worthwhile skill in any field, may it be any subject. We can integrate this kind of educational blogging into social sciences, mathematics, every kind of subject area, and it can be incorporated in any grade of learning. We can continue it to the university level as well. Blogs have been potential to expand students. Blogs, have the potential to expand students creativity and their writing skills. These are the, as we all know, that we as students are 21st century students and are adapting to the digital world, where we are eager to learn from, and educators are using blogs in many ways, including an online portfolio for student personal reflective journals, as a record of field notes, as discipline specific areas for knowledge sharing, and as a space for students dialogue and for class administration as well. These days there are so many social networking, but there are sometimes about having a space potentially free from distractions of a billion advertisements and countless competing status updates. So as they can aid learning, teaching learning process in a way. So how can this blogging be encouraged in educational purposes? We need to question about that. So we need to learn about what is actually educational blogging. An educational blog or an edu blog is a blog created for educational purposes, as the name suggests. That is, it can be a publication mechanism, like it can be a journal or a bulletin which is created for educational purposes. Mainly, it is made to archive and support student and teacher learning by facilitating reflection, questioning by self and others, collaboration, and by providing context for engaging in higher order thinking. As we have seen, it gives us flexibility, adaptability, and integration as well. So, educational blogs can be used to promote an open dialogue and encourage community building, in which both bloggers and commentators exchange opinion, ideas, and attitudes. So, this can also create an inclusive classroom environment as well. It provides us a communication space where the teacher can utilize with students whenever there is a curriculum need to develop writing or share ideas and reflect on works being undertaken in the classroom. It can also, it in larger perspective builds communication as well. So they can also, blogs can also encourage readers with ideas, questions, and links. They ask the readers to think and respond, so they help in maintaining a higher order thinking capacities. They demand interaction in a sense. Some of the examples of blogs are can be seen on the screen. For example, wordpress.com or blogger. The above websites are just for general use. The blogger and the wordpress can be used as a blogging platform for general use, and if we go on to specifically classroom use, edublogs, kidblog.organization, uh, class blog master 21 classes, cooperative learning are some of the examples we can use for classroom usage. So now we will go further and see how edublog is in particularly used in education, and it is most widely used blog in systems of education. So now we are going to see that how we can use an edublog and how we can create an account and use it further. There are some there is their official YouTube channel as linked on the screen, and their official website is always also linked on the screen, uh, which we will go forward and look upon. So for example, we have to create an edublog account. We can go on Google and type edublogs, and here I see the website, https colon edublogs dot org. and we can click it up here. To start, we have to get a free blog and fill in the details here, which due to personal reasons I cannot share. So after filling in all the details, we get to this site. As we can see on our screens, from here this point we can customize our site. Then we can write our blog post here, and from there we can manage our class. We can join a class, create a class, we can post stuff, we can add photos here, and all new pages for writing a blog post. We can comment on here, we can change the appearance of how the blog looks, uh, and then we can see the user details, and we can change settings from here, which include general, writing, reading, discussion, media, etc. We can upgrade a blog from here. And there are many such examples given on the YouTube channel of the official YouTube channel of this site. As we have seen how to use an Edublog, we can go further to look at some more examples that can be used in educational blogging, as we can see on the screen. Going forward, we need to understand what are the uses of these educational blogs, before which we have to see how it can be related. So as the picture suggests, that blogs creates a linkage between identity, people, it creates thinking, it creates writing, post time. A mental map is shown in how interlinkage and interconnectivity between blogging and communication can be seen. So further, going for uses of educational blogging, which includes that educators have identified the creative use of this internet technology and put the blog to work in classroom, as it can be a powerful and effective technological tool for students and educators alike. It helps both the students and the educators. They can be used as educators to create a classroom that extends beyond the boundaries of a classroom, which are as follows. So which means that educational blogging is not just confined to the four walls of the classroom, but it goes beyond the boundaries of the classroom to enhance and create an opportunity for the students to better use the technology and enhance their teaching and enhance their learning. Some of the uses of blogging includes feasibility, that it can be used virtually at any time, and it contains relevant information that is relevant and readily available, like rubrics, announcements, assignments, study guides, and they can be updated and they can be updated at any time of the day. There are many ways to use it, like use an existing blog to provide information and insights among co-workers, providing information for students, or keeping in contact with uh, parents. It enhances our communication skills, that it is a bidirectional communication enhancing skill for teachers and students. It is highly motivating, especially to the students who generally are uninterested in the classroom. It boosts their self confidence in a way. Students can make global connection and help people learn to work with people. It can be a further use for, you know, what we do as cold emailing. This is a certain way of moving forward from cold emailing. We can have global connection, and uh, with the advent of globalization, we can use this to our advantage and create global connections, and learn and also teach to other students. Students learn to be an ethical digital citizen. Blogging develops a learning network in itself. It enhances responsibilities. For example, if we are given a timeline for a particular and for a particular assignment, it creates a virtual space where students become responsible for themselves to complete their assignments on time. It in a way encourages collaboration and discussions, which will provide a communication space to share ideas. It some way enables what Vygotsky called as scaffolded learning or mentoring to occur. It makes learning relevant at it as it engages various learning styles. It enhances critical thinking and also creative thinking, as it encourages students to articulate their ideas and perspective, make their thinking visible, and be brave and bold to contribute to the greater discourse. Students develop technological literacy and practice typing skills as well. It enhances the engagement among students to increase, as it is a fun and effective way to learn, as it makes learning a little less formal and more joyful. Assessment also becomes a key component here, and it eases out assessment processes, as teachers can provide feedback and monitor students' performance more effectively. It enhances self assessment and continued assessment, personal reflections as well. It decreases paper use, so it makes it more eco friendly. It creates an online portfolio for writing thoughts throughout the school year, throughout the academic year, basically. One of the major uses in a classroom that educational blogging provides is reading, writing, and reflecting. Blogging can be an excellent opportunity for enhancing the skills like reading, for example, reading for discussions, writing and reflecting. It provides an additional mode for writing as well. It exchange in exchange of writing of other works, we can read other people's writing and reflect on it, as well as we can self write and reflect on it. For example, journaling and book reviews, as we do. It helps in summarizing what class discussions we had, and reflect on what they learned during the class actively. It helps in sharing ideas for applying what they have learned to their own practice, which in turn helps students to express themselves more sharply and share their ideas and perspective in an articulate manner, and help them to write, organize their writing, and develop a habit of writing. As what Jackson states, that research has long shown that students write more, write in a greater detail, and take greater care with spelling, grammar, and punctuation when they are writing to an authentic audience over the internet. It gives students an authentic and larger audience for student writing. As we have discussed the point of globalized learning, it enhances writing and editing and proofreading skills as well. Then going forward, topic of writing can range from current news to update on classroom projects as well. According to a journal article by Patricia Dubel, where she strives to define what a useful and easily managed blog experience would look like in an actual classroom settings. She explains how blogs can be helpful for students who would normally not speak up in the classroom, fully participate in the discussions when the blog is being used in the classroom, as she states that the blog is a vehicle to ensure that everyone is heard and is valued member of a learning community. While blogging seems easy, with the class of 25, Dubel estimates that there will be 75 posts to read a week. So, a system must be used where it is easy to assess the relativity and substance of the post in her study. Uh, she also said that blogging can also be a way for students to start to learn HTML code in order to customize their blog post. This is a great introduction to language behind the computers, as per her. In another journal article by Rama Ramaswamy, she explains how many experiments have been done to measure the success of blogging on students' writing skills and enjoyment of writing, as we have seen earlier. She states that the students developed their technological skills even though they didn't receive formal technology related instruction during the project. Many of these tools are gained from blogging experience, which will have a lasting effect into the farthest reaches of education, from college to even the medical school. So it is not that blogging experience is a very what we call as an immediate effect. It has a long lasting effect on what on our teaching learning process. It is one of the biggest advantages of blog is that most of the time they are completely and 100% free to use for an unlimited amount of time and space. So it becomes easy on the pockets of students as well as for teachers, because they are mostly 100% free to use to use it and gain benefit from it. As Rama Swami states further that attention to details such as grammar, spelling, and punctuation are necessary, else the project is not reaching its fullest teaching and learning potential. About reading, writing, and comprehension in language, she talks about the uses of blogs. um, and also she says that students are learning to be concise and precise when writing on a blog. This is what her observation tells us, that students are learning to be concise and precise when writing a blog, which is extremely helpful when writing longer and extensive papers in the future. For example, if they go on to do research works, etc. So these are the particular uses about what Ramaswamy and Patricia Dubel talks about the uses of blogs in a classroom. Moving forward, there are four basic functions of blogs that we need to cater to, which includes for a teacher to manage the classroom, because class blogs serve as a portal to foster a community of learners, but it needs a better class management to do the same. So it becomes very easy to create and update efficiently. They can be used to inform students of class requirements, post handout notices, homework assignments, or act as a question and answer board, which ultimately helps in a management of classroom. So it is a place where everything is concise and precise, and everything is at a same place, which helps in better classroom management. The next function is the collaboration. As we can clearly see in the picture, collaboration enhances basically the trust, the success, exchange, teamwork, motivation, assistance, support, and sharing of stuffs. So it helps in better collaboration, as blogs provides a space where educators and students can work further, develop writing and other skills with the advantage of instant audience, like further helps in collaboration, as it can offer where educators can offer instructional tips, and students can practice and benefit from the peer review. Student can also participate in cooperative learning activities that require them to relay research findings, ideas, or suggestions. They also make online mentoring possible. For example, class of an older student can help a class of a younger student uh, develop more confidence in their writing things. So in a nutshell, it promotes a sense of collaboration among different aspects and different uses of educational blogging in a classroom. The next function of educational blogging is to create student portfolio, which encourages creativity and independence, and it promotes creative ideas of students to showcase their learning. So student portfolio, how do they maintain a student portfolio? As everything that the particular student has done or referred to is at one single place. It organizes and protects students work as digital portfolio, and students realize that their efforts will be published. They are typically more motivated to produce better writing. Expert or peer mentoring advice can be easily kept for future references, which ultimately leads to better assessment of students, because everything the student has done is at one single place. It is well organized, so it becomes good for students as well as for assessment from teachers as well. Not only from teachers, students can refer it for self assessment as well. The next function which educational blogging talks about is discussion in a classroom. We It is inevitable to ignore the value of discussion in a classroom. So with a blog, it is better, discussion as an aspect of learning has can be better utilized. With a blog, every person will have an equal opportunity to share their thoughts and opinions, and a class blog opens the opportunity for students to discuss topics even outside the classroom and outside the boundaries of a classroom as well. Now, we saw the difference between what a static website and a blog was, but we know how we have to understand what are the uses of static website and blog as well. So in a static website, what are the differences between the two? So in a static website, there is only a one way communication, but in a blog there is a kind of discussion, a kind of dialogue. Static website contains of a lecture style of teaching, because it is not that flexible and not that it cannot be changed very often. So it is more of a lecture style, whereas in blog it is more of a collaboration, reflection kind of a space. It creates connection and creation. Where on the other hand, where static websites are used by a teacher where teacher decides what information is to be passed on. In a blog there is a kind of collaboration and student learn. There is a community that is involved in a blog. Students are not disconnected, but rather are collaborative. They include dialogue, reflection, connection, creation. Students own learning is enhanced, and it builds a learning community as well. So the blogs are ultimately more flexible than a static now teachers can use blog for their own professional enhancement. We can share some of the ways in which they can do it. They can create a reflective and journal type blog to reflect on their own teaching experiences. They can keep a log of teaching training experiences. They can write a description of a specific teaching unit. They can provide some teaching tips to other teachers as well. They can explain teaching insights they have gained from what happens in their own classes. share ideas for teaching activities or language games to use in the classroom. They can provide some how to do's on using specific technology in the class, describing how they used this technology in their own class. They can explore important teaching learning issues and write about it as well. Now, teachers can start their class blog, and we need to give some tips to teachers before they start a class blog. So they can post after the class. They can share related information such as calendars, events, homework assignments, and other pertinent classroom informations. And they can post assignment based on literature readings and have students respond on their weblogs, creating a kind of portfolio, and which, as we have studied, enhances collaboration. They can communicate with the parents using a weblog. If they are teaching in an elementary school as well, they can post prompts for writing, the instructions to the students for what they have to write and how they have to write. They can provide examples of classworks, vocabulary activity, or even the grammar games. They can provide online readings for their students to read and reflect and react to. They can also gather and organize internet resources for a specific course, providing links to appropriate sites and annotating the links to appropriate sites so that it becomes relevant about them. They can post photos and comment on class activities and what their students respond as well. They can invite students comments or postings on issue in order to give them a writing voice. They can publish examples of good students writing done in the class um, to enhance their skills and also provide them as an example to other students. But they need to take care that it is not in a tone of uh, giving a superior um, understanding to a particular child and treating other children as inferior. They can showcase students art, poetry, and creative stories. They can So in short, they can create a dynamic teaching site, posting not only class related information but also activities, discussion topics, links to other additional information about the topics they are actually studying in the class, which will obviously enhance the topic they are studying, and child could relate different topics together. And they can ask students to create their individual course blogs as well, where they can post their own ideas, reactions, and uh, written work. They can post tasks to carry out project based learning tasks as well. They can build a class newsletter where student written articles and photos can be organized. This can be a very good activity, and children will love it because they will enhance their writing skills and would want to talk and express their views through writing. They can link class with another class somewhere else in the world, as we have seen the uh, uses of globalization in the classroom. Now, how can student create their own blogs, and what key points they need to have before creating their own blogs? First of all, they obviously have to learn how to blog. They have to complete class writing assignments. They can create an ongoing portfolio of sample of their writing. They can express their opinion on topic that they are studying in the class. They can also write opinions, comments, or questions on the daily news items or the issues of interest. They can discuss activities they did in the class and tell what they think about them. They can write about class topics and newly learned vocabulary and idioms, and showcase their best writing practices. But how do we get ready for a new blog? we have to primarily start exploring with the tool. What we can do is know how does it work, how can it help us in uh, our own development. They can People can seek help from the colleagues who have tried it before. They can read other educators blogs too, to gain and organize and use these categories, to use the information and how often they blog, how they give instruction to the students, to better understand how these ideas can be utilized for them and be created in a newly formed manner. Now there are different ways where teachers can how teachers can use their blogs in the classroom. They can provide further assignment for students. uh, they can challenge their students to write, record and post tutorials about certain concepts or things they have already taught them. Then they can use activities, games, puzzles to enrich the students learning experiment. And then they can use blogs to conduct an online survey as well in relation to where students learning needs. You can also include parents in these surveys. But it's not all glitter when it comes to educational blogging. We need to be aware about when we are blogging, and we need to keep certain points in mind when we do blogging. We cannot assume that what we are reading is actually 100% true. We can never give our personal information such as address, phone number, etc. out to anyone. We cannot establish rule or procedures for posting and commenting to the post. We have to be respectful. Do not say anything that might be offensive to someone else. We have to be considerate of others when commenting. Show others that you have read what they have written by saying more than just good job. Even if we are appreciating them, it's not just the good job that matters. We have to be very aware and, in fact, be more reflective towards what we have read. We have to be literate, write in complete sentences, and grammar should be correct, and spelling and punctuation marks should be given focus upon. And the main blogging make blogging as a part of a and we have to make blogging as a part of a regular schedule. Now, particularly tips for teachers for being aware in the blogging in the classroom are as follows. They have to get permission slips from parents and administration before they even think of having your students in a blog. Even with the permission, they do not identify their students with their last name to be sensitive towards them. Then second point is, assume that whatever they post will be read by their students, co-workers and superiors. So don't link to something if it's not safe for your students. We have to be very careful of cyber bullying or cyber crime as well. So we need to be careful of what we link in the blog, because we need to be understanding of the fact that that students, it should not impact the students way of thinking in a negative way. Then they have to model to write a blog post or show students example of student blog before giving them assignments on writing a blog. Teachers have to look for a program that does not require student emails or identifying feature to protect their privacy. On some program, classes can be contained and only members of the class can be contained. That is, only the members of the group can see what is being posted and what comments are being posted. So to provide students with a level of anonymity, they can create fun pseudonyms for students to protect their identity. Teacher teach students what is acceptable to post and what is not acceptable to post. because this gives an edge to the students to be aware and be sensitive to others as well. Teachers have to teach students that skills you want them to use or not use, like appropriate commenting, use of texting shortcuts, etc. Now, lastly, Green Bloggers. Green Bloggers Club is a club dedicated to help a student start their own blog, improve it, and get it recognized. Whether if they want to build the authority blog in a certain niche, or just want to get their thoughts out to the world. It empowers students, it promotes and support advocacy, it provides a forum for the open discussion on using social media, it encourages students to use social media responsibly, and it encourages to build relationship with and learning from bloggers at school around the Philippines. This is of particular importance that this Green Bloggers Club is for Philippines, so we can also create that for India as well. An ending note, I would really like to emphasize and encourage the use of educational blog in the classroom, as it can be a great resource to facilitate teaching learning process inside and even outside the four walls of a classroom. It can be used as a connecting force which encourages learning, as we have discussed above, and it becomes inevitable for us to not use technology in our education system at this 20 at the era of 21st century. We as teachers need to we are in a dire need to learn how technology can be better optimized to our advantage. Thank you.